I did it. Good morning. It is Tuesday and it is time for a Sanctum League overview. What I've learned so far. Yes. We just jump right into the game and I'll show you what we have here. Right, Sanctum. What is it? It's like a roguelike mechanic. The new league mechanic. So most of you have probably tried it so far, so I'm just gonna explain some of the things I have found that worked really well for me. First, a little brief on Sanctum League so far. So Sanctum League has been a pretty divisive, but mostly a positive experience for the players. Now, a couple things to why that is. So I think it's overall a really good league mechanic. I've really been enjoying it. I think if you have not been enjoying it, it's probably not your fault. Well, I mean, to some extent it is, but it's like if you've been playing PoE the same way for a long time and your builds generally work, I mean, then it's fine. Then it really isn't. So let me explain why. So in Sanctum League, the only thing that, the thing you need to do in Sanctum is you have this bar down here, which is a resolve bar. You see, mine is not very good right now. We'll get into that. So you have a base resolve. Now, that resolve is essentially your HP pool for the league mechanic. If that goes to 0, you're essentially bounced out, kicked out of it. It doesn't matter if your life goes to 0. Now, however, if your life goes to 0, you also get kicked out, and some things actually do hurt quite a bit. So it's not like you can go in full glass cannon. That would not work. Now, so what does this mean? If you cannot be hit by any mechanics, that means that you essentially cannot get hit. Now, okay, but while doing it, just been built block and evasion and all these things to just not get hit by virtue of my character. By virtue of the thing is that it hits me, but I evade it. Because a hit that connects onto your character, regardless of whether or not you actually take damage from it, if you block it, if you evade it, damage is mitigated, you're still losing resolve every time. So what does that mean? It means that you want to make the enemy unable to hit you. Now, if you're someone who generally likes to play like jogs and RF characters, and you tank it up, and you're generally playing a little bit more methodical and slow, you don't have like permanent flash charges, you don't have like a natural 50% movement speed on top of your character, or 100 or whatever, you play like Cyclone and everything is a little bit slow, and I don't know, if you're those kind of builds, you will struggle, because there's a lot of things in here that makes builds like that an absolutely a hell. So what I did for the league start is very what's it called? It was a very conscious decision that I chose to go Pathfinder, because I have permanent flasks, I have increased movement speed, good attack speed, I can attack from range, even though I have a setup that's not fully ranged, but it's range enough, so I can pick things off. Now, really what you want in here, it's not really so much about being at range, it's more about bursting damage. Having burst opportunities and good mobility. Because you will have opportunities to attack the enemy. Now, I don't really have footage, so you can come on the stream if you want to see more of that, and I can show you if you have questions. I don't mind that, so just ask. But what I will recommend is that you play the league mechanic a lot. Don't aim to beat the whole thing in one go. So, if I had to give you okay, so I'm struggling, but what should be my first approach? Or even if I'm just new or starting out, what should be my first approach? Go in, don't be greedy, right? Learn the league mechanic, look at the monsters, see what they do. Now, a thing that makes this a lot easier is temporal chains and chill. Anything that lowers their action speed, their movement speed, attack speed is really, really, really good. Because it allows you more uptime to attack in between their attacks. So temp chains is S tier, and so is chills. I don't have chills, I wish I had chills. And secondly, movement speed, very good. And then you want to be able to take a hit. So like, there are certain mechanics that hit really hard, so stuff like Molten Shell is still good if you're going to tank some of the later bosses' attacks. I'm not gonna go too much into like the specific attacks, because there's just too many I can talk about. But mobility and being able to take a single hit is key. Good bursty damage, uptime, and slowing their movement speed. Those are like the key things. Now, that's more like your character. Now what? Let's say we have been traversing through the Sanctum for a while, and it's going well, and we're getting some relics. Now what are these relics, right? We've killed some things, we've gotten some relics. Now, the things I've chosen, so you can't, these are not the ones I've chosen. The ones I've chosen are actually, but I should have gone in and done it. But I have some of the ones I would have chosen. Now, I think the coin ones are not that great in general, especially the at the start coin. That's just trash. The double coin, that means more coins. That's not too bad. The 9, that seems pretty good. That one seems pretty good. This one's pretty bad. Maximal Resolve is not very good on its own. I'll explain why as well. But first, Resolve. Resolve is your main bar that you can interact with. Different rooms will have different bonuses. Really should have footage, but whatever. You can have, let's go over them. You can have a fountain that recovers 25. You can have an accursed fountain, which recovers 50, but gives you a minor affliction, which is one of these. You can have a benevolent fountain, which gives you 25, and a random boon, which is one of these. Then you can have a radiant fountain, which is a random boon. I think it removes an affliction. I've only had one of them very long ago. And then it gives you 200 inspiration. I'll explain inspiration next. Then you can have a merchant, where you can buy things based on your coins. I would say that you want at least like 300-ish coins before you do one. Otherwise, it's a pretty big gamble, and more is better. So like 5, 6, 7, 800, 1,000 coins would be great if you could have that before. Now, you don't get that many coins. You can expect to probably have like 500 coins before you find the first one. And you would not take it as the first thing you do. Then you can have accursed packs, which is really good as well. It gives you an option of an assortment of upsides versus downsides. It could be 3 minor for a specific bad, really bad major affliction, or it could be a major affliction with a major boon. Like it's a very much a trade-off. Like it's a trade-off, but generally you can get it so that it's mostly a benefit and way less so a negative. Are there any other things in here? Fountains, and then there's the coin rooms. Yeah, that's basically it. And then if you want to get relics, you just need to kill guardians. So you want to kill as many guardians, and you want to kill as many bosses as possible. One thing, it's kind of annoying because I actually oh, actually no. One thing here that's important. Learn the name of the room. Halls of worship here. Don't remember what it is exactly. But like Gauntlet is like a find the exit. I don't remember. There's one that's really bad. Infernum, I think it's on the 3rd floor. I think the floor I'm on right now is terrible. It's like a split room with 2 traps beaming in, that follow you, and you have to kill a bunch of guards. And it's probably the room I lose the most amount of resolve and inspiration. So learn the name of the rooms. Very important. Learn the name of the rooms. Also, when you go through the rooms, go through the one that have the most amount of exits to other places. So, for instance, if you go here, and then there's a good room up here, but also here. Let's say these two are the same. They're not actually the same. This one is actually better. Oh no, this one's actually better if these are the same, because this one leads into 2 options afterwards. This forces you here. So if these would be the same option, like 2 fountains or an equal outcome, you would definitely go here. Now, sometimes you can see 2 ahead and then you have more information, but in general, if there's an even option, you go for the one with the most amount of exits afterwards. Would be my suggestion. Right. Now, resolve is your main amount. Now you will get tons of things that'll either give you like recover resolve, which is generally always percentage based unless it's a boon. So all the fountains is a percentage based amount recovery, but there are so many negatives that tell you to like you gain less, you have less resolve, you blah 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 blah. All these generally negatively affect your resolve. So resolve becomes one of those things as you stack more and more afflictions. This gets impacted the most. Now you can get something else that's called inspiration, which is generally like the OP strat. So if you get the one that says 100 inspiration per affliction, you see if I've gotten that first, this would have been 700 inspiration, which is equally value to resolve. It's just you can't recover it through fountains. But fountains is not really in the good runs is not how you recover most of it. And if you take accursed packs, you generally say, I lose maximum resolve, meaning that I could cut this in half or by a quarter. And then I gain a bunch of upsides. So what you can do is you can say, I want to lose 50%. I want to lose 50%. I want to lose 25%. And the first 50, or like, let's say 25% here, you go to 110, then 25 or 50, 110, then 50 again, you'll be down to 55, then 50 again, you'll be down to like, what, around 30. But then if you have the inspiration stacked up on top, then it doesn't matter. Because as you take these like maximum reductions to resolve, it becomes a less and less of a hit. So you don't really want to stack max resolve. Now, the max resolve I took here is because I was at 21, because I've been doing this, and I was banking on getting inspiration. So I ended up being like, okay, this is not really working well, and I randomly got the adrenaline vial. So now I'm hoping to find a boss room. Like, this run is probably dead. I have Silver Decree, which is a really big major boon. It's whatever. Like, you will learn these combos as you go. Now, I would say this. The Fiendish Wings here is terrible. The action speed stuff is terrible. That's probably one of the worst ones. That one, things that make you look, that make it so that you can't see very far ahead, it can be very difficult if you don't have a very good build. Because you want to like, especially if you get it early on. What else is really bad? Less movement speed is bad if you have very low movement speed. I think it's reduced movement speed. I have Hairfoot. I actually had Hairfoot and I had the 40 reduced. But the reduced one is actually not bad if you're at like 200. Because then you have plenty of movement speed. But if you're at like 100, it's a brick. Which is why you really want to have movement speed in here. The damage one is really good. The faster you can kill these things, I gotta say it outright. High damaging builds are just the best in here. Because like they ignore the mechanics by removing the mechanic, which is the monsters. So it's very PoE-esque in that regard. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to really, my biggest strat here is probably stack inspiration. I should probably make a video later where I do like a run. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll like, if I get a good run or something, I'll take some pictures and stuff, but we'll see. Anyways, at the end here, I would say the build you pick is very important for this mechanic. The main way to get better at this is playing it. Learning all the different mechanics, looking at the enemies that you're facing, pay very good attention, try to play a little bit more aggressive, right? To where it's like, oh, I think I have an opportunity here. And I do. And you start finding all those weaving in between attacks. Get temp chains, get chill, get movement speed. Those are like some of the key things. You can manipulate the maximum resolve. Inspiration is OP. The things that make you blind for the map are dangerous. More dangerous than you think. Yeah, and there's like plenty more. If you want to see some runs, come on the channel. I've really been enjoying this lead mechanic. I think that's just going to be it. The video could have been better. But what I'm trying to do here with these videos is I'm making it so that every morning when there's something new on my mind, I'll just make a video. And we'll make a lot of these videos and they'll just get better and I'll get better I got better at like having some footage available. So hope you enjoyed the video. And I will see you guys in the next one, which will probably be my Atlas start. Yeah, it will be. I'll talk about my Atlas. I'll do that not tomorrow. I want to give myself a day off. We'll do it the day after tomorrow. So, Thursday. New video on Thursday. Yes. About my Atlas strategy so far. And it's been spicy. I've been doing Metamorph and Abyss. And TLDR. Don't league start Metamorph. It could be good later on, but not as a league start. Okay. I am gonna run. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the stream. Bye!